So, test. Gotta see how loudly I have to talk.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Smile like that.
It's a regular smile. Yes.
It's crystal clear, again of the year, the struggle stray along the way, but having you by my side makes everything okay. We're watching video clips of all types of shits, laughing out loud, we really hate this crowd, and we don't know where to go, hopefully take it slow. Lots of hustler minds will reject the decline, our approach to life and that, well that's just fine. We wanna let others live because it's none of our business, we press your chest upon our mess. There's so many minds, hey, I'd like to climb, see beyond this place, we want a part of this race. We do what we can, you better tap out, man. You're about to pass out or get a pick for the cloud. Why is it so hard here, and they made it so weird? Try to stay woke and humble and joke. It's fucking hard out here.
Ziggy's good.
What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of It's Hard Out Here. I'm Joel Morales,
I'm Karina Ayala.
and today we have a wild one with us. His name's Rick Fernandez, longtime friend of mine, but also an online presence like no other. Many aliases on there.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the cowboy things.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. There's Rick-diculous, Tricky Dick. Somebody at the credit union once called me Pito Pyaso, Dick Clown. We got all kinds of fun stuff.
Wow.
We're starting strong.
What is Pito Pyaso? Where did that come from?
It's a terrible translation of Dick Clown.
Just Dick Clown.
Like Tricky Dick. Somebody
Yeah.
was trying to speak Spanish and did a very poor job.
That's amazing. Above all else,
PP.
He is, PP.
That's what it devolved
He's
into.
the founder, creator, lead vocalist, and lead guitar.
Rhythm, I can't shred for the
Rhythm, sorry, excuse me. I don't know. I can't tell the difference just by looking at him, and I don't have an ear for it. But Tibetan Skyburial.
I play old guitars.
Yeah. We'll put the little logo right here somewhere, so y'all can check that
That's
out.
good, yeah, great.
On
Link in the
Spotify.
caption
Yeah.
too.
Which one do you want? Lament?
I'll send you our new logo. We have a new logo.
Got new content.
Metal. It's got roots in it.
Yeah, how would you
Very-
describe the sound of the band and
Yeah.
then what you're transitioning to?
Oh, that's fun.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tibetan Skyburial is a atmospheric sludge post-black metal band. Some people may not know what that
It's
is.
just such a running joke when like you hear metalheads describe metal music, and it's just
Yeah.
like, well, it's a little bit of trash can, top heavy, bottom, power source, gas lit,
Yeah.
Firestone.
Yeah, I
And that's the thing. Like, there's
description
there's just a built-in fan base for it because metalheads love encyclopedias of names they can't read and all the subgenres that go with it. It's just endless. And like today, I was listening to some bands that popped up in my feed that like there's a few albums I was like, oh yeah, that band. Like there's like Tesseract I loved 10 years ago. They had an album I was really into, and there's a band called Night. I always say the band name wrong because I learned it wrong. It was like Night Nurses, but it's actually Night Verses. I was like, oh, Night Nurses was like different in
I
my
mean,
head.
you can never read
But-
the names,
Well, those you can, but
Oh,
then,
those you can.
but like, super underground metal, like you can't,
Yeah.
like all the death genres.
What's
and
the
stuff.
deal with that?
It's jazz, it's roots,
Yeah.
it's metal.
It just looks like veins, like
It's more like roots. It's supposed to be more earth laden, and I don't know. I mean,
Really?
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not like the one to like talk about like history of metal and stuff like that. I'm not up on that stuff.
I didn't know they were such naturists.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like roots.
Oh,
When you
yeah,
said roots, I was
yeah.
like, oh, clicks,
Well, like
makes
black
sense.
metal is like like very pagan. It's very like tied to the earth.
Yeah.
Like I think the
That
most
makes sense.
accessible and relatable artist who draws inspiration from some of that is like Chelsea Wolfe. She's very
Yeah.
like pagan, very earthy, and I know Ziggy.
She wants to join your band.
Just backup vocals.
We're all full. I'm sorry.
It's a hard audition.
Hi, Ziggy.
You had one shot.
How old is Ziggy now?
My cat is 18 years old.
Holy shit.
She was taken to the vet about 3 times in her life, all for ticks. Once just for a checkup. Last time I took her, they were just like, "Oh, how old's your cat?" And I was like, she was 16 at the time,
15 or 16?
16 or 17, I don't remember. And they were like, "What? Like, no way." And I was like, "No, yeah." They're like, "She's like as healthy as like a 6-year-old cat, and the size of a 6-year-old cat." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, she's a great weight.
She's got some trauma though. We kept it like I compared it to a goldfish.
Understatement of the year.
A goldfish, right? You keep it in a small bowl; it stays small. Ricky, remember Ricky?
No.
Our old friend Ricky. His dad kept goldfish in a 5-gallon water jug. You know, they just cut the top off, made it a goldfish tank, and those goldfish got like that big.
Ooh.
So they just like grow according to their environment, I think. And I think that's what happened with her, because I kept her in my bedroom at my mom's house, like first 5-6 years of her life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then finally let her out into the world. But, you know, that's when she went through all of her growth phases, so she just stayed small. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's my theory.
I have a theory about the Scandinavians. I think because they're higher up there to the oxygen in the mountains, that's why they're so goddamn big.
Okay, that's
See, like I got, you know, like I'm like a 3/4 Latin, which, you know, I'm a short man, and like average for like, you know, South Texas.
Yeah.
But you know, I wonder about that one person, because every male in my family is like borderline 6 foot. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the runt of the group, so I wonder if like if they'd thrown me in some Scandinavian mountains, I had some like pure rich oxygen, I was breathing in the earth, I'd be like 6 foot.
Dude. Well, I know, like, we have a lot of fun discussing conspiracy theories, and one of them is that, you know, the Earth was a lot richer with, like, oxygen and carbon dioxide and whatnot back in the day that created for an atmosphere to allow things to grow a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Giants and, like,
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs,
That makes
huge
sense.
fauna.
Why? Yeah, I think that's totally why that is.
Yeah.
I've had that thought.
But you know what? I think it's so crazy. Like not the dinosaurs. The giant one isn't too far fetched. Maybe to a certain extent it is, but like there are people that would be considered giants that have been alive in the last 100
Right.
years that
Sure.
would have like actual evidence of, like Andre the Giant or
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal. Like, yeah.
Any
like,
NBA player.
like how is that so surprising that there's some big people
There's
sometimes.
like 7-foot families, like they're all over TikTok.
Yeah, and like they die early now due to, like, you know, organ failures or whatever, because their bodies can't handle it. And it's like, oh, what if that has to do with the oxygen levels, or, you know, I don't know. Now I'm just shooting shit out there.
Another thought I've had on a little deviating the topic, like when you think about when we look at like fossil records and bones,
Yeah.
every single artifact that you look at, it's like whatever, a very unique circumstance happened for that to be preserved.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds? We're looking at all of like nature's oddities of like
for sure.
how it died.
Yeah,
that's a weird concept to think about.
And
Like,
it changes the whole composition of the bone itself, because it's no longer a bone, it's fossilized, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a completely entire mineral compound. I forget what it turns into, but yeah, that's why a lot of the times some like fossil deniers will jump to that, like, well, how come we don't just dig up these bones all the time? And plus, bones decompose in such a rapid
Because
amount of
Satan
time.
put 'em there.
Satan put them there.
that is
Dude,
sloth.
all conspiracy theories, they lead to Jesus. It's crazy.
What?
I'm not even joking.
I thought it was
Oh,
the
hold
devil,
on.
though.
Now this is a conspiracy theory.
No, I'm not joking, you dude. Like, all of them, every single like die-hard conspiracy theorist out there, they're a Christian or
yeah, for sure.
a believer in like Yahweh. Like they always come back to that, and then they always reference the Bible of like, see, it's upsetting Ziggy even too. They always reference the Bible because the Bible talks
Yeah.
of like giants and like the firmament above the earth and all this crazy
I think
shit.
they like stories.
No, for sure.
I think that's what it comes back
That's
to.
what's fun about it.
Because
Yeah.
conspiracies basically are stories.
Exactly.
It's like, but it's pick your own adventure kind of story.
Yeah, that's great. Coming down? No, I thought she was coming down.
Maybe.
have an appearance by Ziggy.
Hi, Ziggy.
You're dying for an appearance with Ziggy.
Yes, I would love that if she just came and chilled with us. It would be so cool.
Yeah. Everyone
She
can.
She can come spread the gospel of.
That's exactly what
She hasn't changed since I met her. I remember
Yeah.
this cat, to circle back, when you first got her, like when you were living in your apartment in downtown El Paso 10 years ago,
Yeah.
you first got her, you know, and I was like, yeah, we're that old. And I saw it and I was like, oh, what a cute old cat in my head. And you told me, oh no, she's like whatever age. I was like, oh, she is cranky and hates everything and everybody. This cat I thought the cat was like 15 at that point. I was like, oh, you're so good for taking in this poor cat at the end of its life. It's like, no, your cat's just pure fucking
That was
evil.
like, it was my warm up to like maybe potentially having kids someday. Like, I'm like, okay, this is kind of what it's like to take care of something, but I
Yeah.
also didn't need to. I would just like leave her, right? But like, I've had other friends say like about their dogs, like, oh yeah, it's kind of like taking care of a kid,
It's-
huh? And I'm just like, you have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a soft intro because like,
Barely.
well, it's like you
it's
are
the
on yeah, exactly. It's like, did you remember to feed it?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you pick up its poop? Did you groom it? Did you give it some attention?
Yeah.
I mean, but there's so many benefits. Like, it doesn't, like at least no, never mind. Scratch that. I had a completely irrational thought. Never mind. Doesn't make sense.
Here he
Yeah.
is.
It really did. It scrambled up in my brain because I was like, well, at least I was gonna say something stupid like at least a dog learns how to wipe its own ass. And I was like, wait, no, that's the kids. How do
Yeah.
we haven't slept well lately. So.
Oh no, I'm on like 4 hours sleep, but not for that reason.
I can imagine, dude. You've
Really?
always
Well,
Yeah.
I'm always running empty. Like the worst possible state of my existence every week is at 3 p.m. Saturday until I go to sleep because I've worked 4 a.m. every day of the week, and then now that we're doing more band stuff, like we've had rehearsals. I'm not in show shape right now, and so I'm just like straining my guts to put on a performance in a rehearsal because it's like working out. It's a muscle, everything. So it's just like go hard in rehearsal. So I don't suck as much during the show because I'm like really like cutting it close because we play next Friday. Next Friday, Kick Butt Coffee. Catch us. Tibetan Skyburial.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. This episode might not be out before then.
Well, hey, you can catch the footage and the replay on YouTube. I'll link in bio.
That's what's
Hell yeah,
up.
we'll link
That's
it.
what's
We'll
up.
link it in
Tibetan
the description.
Skyburial. Right here.
Tibetan, there it is again for your visual pleasure.
Link in caption.
The artwork. Oh, dude, talk about that. The first, like the lament. No, yeah, let's talk about the lament artwork. The face.
Yeah.
What was that about? I forget what it was. It was a mask.
Yeah, it was a mummy. So there's this
Mummy.
great artist. You can find him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. His name is Roger Lebet. He's out of Spain. Really awesome artist, great person because we knew what we wanted for the album. Like we had a vision for the tracks to be like metaphorical grieving process for the 5 stages of grief. So
What are they?
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Okay.
And there's five songs. There's 5 core songs
that
on the
order, right?
album.
Exactly.
No, don't quote me on the order. Yeah, maybe I got it right. I can't remember. But each song represents one of those things. And my old bass player and I came up with that concept. And some of those lyrics are very personal to us. Like the track "Omens" was a very intimate song for him because Brian was he wrote the lyrics to it, and then basically all that, all the vocals, and that was a very intimate song about him kind of dealing with his father's passing, which had happened at a young age, and that was the acceptance part of the album, and that's what that song was. And
Nice. That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna plug real quick. I got a single coming out with the band November 2nd, which is Bad Omens. That is actually a remix of that song.
Oh, nice.
We didn't quite feel like we finished that song, and we kind of it's not a redo, but it kind of is a redo. We just didn't feel like we did the original song justice, and now it's being presented with a lot of new fun stuff I can't quite talk about, but you're gonna see it drop if you follow the Tibetan Sky page very soon.
Yeah.
Dude,
Because it's featuring some people that did some remixes for us. I'm very happy with that.
Cool.
And we've got a slew of singles coming out from now until next year. Announcements coming, stuff. We have to announce the announcements these days because you gotta play the algorithm game.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
we got stuff coming for people that are interested in that.
Just constantly pushing, push.
But yeah, that was what the first album was about. And so to answer your question regarding the cover art, there was a band that Brian and I were very. Brian is my old bass player, good friend of mine. But we were very into the band called Numenarion, and they had a cover of a face that was done, interestingly enough, by a lawyer. It's who just did photography as a side hobby, and he took that photo, and of course, Photoshop, but it was just a face that had looked like plastic or something, it was pushing through.
Oh yeah,
it was a very cool look, and so we knew what the album was about, and we looked for artwork for a long time, and I was just one day on Instagram just looking. I've been looking for months, maybe half a year, maybe a year. I don't know. It was a long time I was looking, and then finally one day I was I sent it to him. I was dude, this is it. So he's absolutely, that's it, no questions. Messaged him, really nice guy, was very open. He's the artist, all about spreading artwork. He's I remember he said I don't see any problem with it. Go ahead and use it. It's fine. As long as
Cool.
He was just super open to do that, which is very rare to find, and I love that because that's what I like about artists in general. Whether you're whatever field you're in, it's just that collaborating and that sense of community. Because everyone's at varying degrees in their journey, and some people are more monetarily connected or more connected to other reasons. And I always enjoy working with people in whatever sense of it is. That's just enjoy what they do because they really enjoy the passion of it. Like whether it's a photographer or, you know, because I've had the pleasure of meeting like all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And I've worked with different kinds of people. Like some are much more pleasurable to work with than others, you know, and there's different motives.
It goes with everything.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get you to fix your mic? Just tilt it
yeah,
up.
oh,
It should
yeah.
be like facing up.
Oh yeah.
Maybe slip it down your shirt a little more. With
No, it
yeah,
flipped.
it
Flipped over.
Yeah. They're heavy.
Hey, little buddy. Come hang with your papa. Yeah, you feeling good and nice tucked in there, little boy?
Jesus Christ.
Y'all didn't know what you're getting yourself into today, did ya?
Didn't you know? You should know.
Kinda. I figured it might come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little silliness.
I didn't know. Oh no. Well, you caught me. You caught me in a good mood.
I was gonna say I never know what mood I'm gonna have you in.
No, because you can get me days where I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm happy to be alive.
They were just like,
It's good to be here.
God. I have some footage of you. Well, all of us really when we took that New Orleans trip. I was recording on my high 8mm camcorder, and I'm just like recording everybody. I'm bored. Everyone's kind of tired and sluggish, and there's a point where we're sitting on the corner of some random ass street. Everyone's just kind of taking a break, and I start recording people and like acting like if it's a National Geographic, you know, segment. It's like, and here we have the I don't know, commonly known
love
Stoop
to
Kids
see
or like
this.
some stupid shit like that. And then Rick, I'm like filming Rick and talking that way, and Rick's just like, "You're an idiot."
Oh yeah, I was also in a very sour state in my life at that point, and I couldn't breathe in New Orleans at all because I was sick prior to going on the trip, and I'm highly allergic to mold, and there's just, you could see mold growing on the highway walls, on the
Dude,
side
on the
walls.
sides of the
my
houses.
God.
where the
Yeah,
water level was,
everywhere.
like, this
And we
crazy-
stayed in the 9th Ward where it flooded during Katrina, and so
Yeah.
where we were, it had been underground. You could, everything smelled of mold. Like, my favorite memory is when we're at whatever little place and we're trying to eat, and we're all sitting there, and you and I are like dying. We're on like Benadryl, everything, and we're like eating our food, but we're struggling. Like, our noses are closed up. We can barely, like, our throats are barely open, so we're eating, and we're just like,
Can you eat?
I couldn't breathe, dude.
it's terrible. Him and I were both just like,
Swallow.
every time we swallowed, there was no air coming into our body. It was just like, it was bad.
And just that over an
Oh my
extended
gosh,
period of
that was
time
insane.
weighs on you because you're not getting oxygen. You're just like taking little like breaths of oxygen when you can, you know, trying to eat, and you're just like fucking about to pass out. You're just like, oh God.
Yeah.
And we're all, you know, hopped up on these allergy medications that are like drowsy.
Drugs and
non-drowsy.
drinking.
I was about to say, then y'all are drinking
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's just Claritin, Benadryl, NyQuil, alcohol, liquor, whatever. It's just like, just keep feeding me things.
Yeah.
I'm not driving.
Make it stop, right?
I barely remember that trip. If I didn't have the video, like, yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, that happened.
And it was also the last time we let Natalie pick a place to stay because I remember, like, it was a day or two before I Google mapped it, and I was like getting into the neighborhood. And I'm just like, oh, we're in the ghetto right now. Like, this is a bad spot. And then the first night we're there, not on top of that layer, like this huge, like, lifted red truck with the big old Confederate flag, like, is driving around. I'm just like,
No
this
way.
seems very out of place here. I don't like that vibe. Like, if we're home in backwoods country somewhere, I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, I mean, driving, you know, in the hill country, I remember, like, in 2012, there was, like, a giant banner, like, fuck Obama, like,
Yeah.
plastered. And I'm like, yeah, okay, par for the course.
Sure.
But I was like, this is very out of place. What is this guy doing in this neighborhood? You seem like you don't belong here.
There's a Trump short bus. That just sounds funny to say, but it's like all it's a short bus, and it says on the side of it like Trump keeps promises or something like that, or Trump's promises kept
Yes.
on the way to like Junction through Fredericksburg through all that. Yeah. I've seen it like 3-4 times now, just headed out that way, coming back, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy. I forget what town it is, but yeah, it's just one of those little towns, you know, that you drive through. Where you don't speed through, right? You don't risk
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, no, you get pulled over.
You get stopped if they see like the rainbow sticker on my car or something. They're just like, "Where are you headed?"
They look for anything. I had a Russian Circles t-shirt on, which for the metalhead world, very mild.
What is that?
It's a band, Russian Circles.
Okay.
And there was just skulls on the shirt, okay? And this wasn't like, this wasn't like fetuses like that are being obliterated and blood everywhere and tits hanging out or anything. It was a very conservative. It's like a gray shirt like this with like a faded kind of like skulls, And this guy was like, this officer, I used to call, in my head, I called him Officer Sean Spicer for you political people. That was Trump's first White House press secretary. Because he was like, he just looked like him. He looked exactly like him, but he was just like threatening me and like questioning me. It's like, do you have a knife? And it's like, well, I did. And I was like, well, it's like, yeah. It's like, you know, and he's just like, just looking for anything to get on me. But I'm just like, is it like the shirt? Like, what's going on? He mentioned the shirt at some point too, yeah. And I'm just like, this guy's just stereotyping me.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm just like, man, like
100%.
that was a bad experience.
Yeah, I got pulled over on my way back from El Paso this last time, like at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, headed out super early because I want to get back to Austin early. It's an 8-hour drive.
It's like right when you left too, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's happened to me
I was
before.
leaving my dad's neighborhood, and I drive fast. Okay, yeah, whatever I do, but I do it in a safe way. Anyways. Except the one thing, I've already admitted that I need to correct that and never do that again. I've admitted it on here, so I have gotten better. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So I was going 15 to 30 because
Safely.
Because I was trying to pass, because I was passing.
Yeah.
I passed the cars, I got, you know, to where I needed to go, and then I just see the lights. You know, the sun's not up yet. I see the lights behind me, and
Yep.
like, oh, it's happening, cool. So right there on Lee Trevino and Montwood, by the Wiener Schnitzel, I pulled into the Wiener Schnitzel parking lot right there, and he comes to the window, and he's just like, license and registration. I was like, yes, sir. Just super polite, you know, very
Always.
straightforward. Gave it to him. He's like, where are you headed? And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to make my way back to Austin, sir. And he's like, oh, are you going to school out there? And I was like, no, sir, I live out there. Been out there a while now.
Should have said yes. Because I've been pulled over a college student. Like, okay, well, you need to slow down, make sure you don't speed, get on your way, son. Well, you're in El Paso, so maybe a little more.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, yeah, I was just visiting some family, making my way back. And he's like, all right, give me one moment. He goes and runs my shit and then comes back. And he's like, all right, sign this. And I signed it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I should have asked him, like, what it was I was signing.
Yeah.
I just signed it like a dummy. 'Cause I just wanted to be done with the situation.
Yeah.
You know? And so he goes back, does his little thing on his cute little computer, comes back, and then he's just like, here's a warning. He's like, get home safely, all right? And I was like, yes, sir, thank you so much. Oh, and I had mentioned, too, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I was just passing, and I was trying to get in front of those vehicles, those other cars. He's like, all right, we'll do it safely. And, yeah, let me go. And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I do it safely.
Like giving them respect and being polite more often than not, like it's always aired in my favor, you know. Not that I ever would be hostile to a police officer, A, but B, especially this day and age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, they have guns.
Dude,
like, why?
anytime.
Like I saw a video in Alabama where they were tasing a band director.
Yeah.
Like a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the footage of the incident itself, but I read the article and pretty much I guess it's custom like they have the fifth quarter, which after the game the bands continue playing, and for whatever reason like these officers like took like I don't know why they like you know said no.
They were like, you know, you can't continue, and they were trying to make him stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And they tased the band director.
in front of the kids and everybody. Yeah.
That's hard. They got to set a precedent, dude. They're, you know. I
These
mean,
band directors must be stopped at all costs.
Obviously.
can't step out of line, dude. Like
They yell. I was yelled at.
band directors.
Oh, band director?
Yeah, that's all they do. They just
Rick was in band.
stop it. Stop.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
There's just I mean literally like you just
Yeah,
megaphone.
Where did your music interest like start? Where did that whole thing come from? You didn't start playing guitar, right? You started on something else.
No, well, let's go with the earliest memory of music that I have.
Okay.
And I probably was 4 or 5, and everything for me always circles back to Batman somehow. So back in the day, you had
That's
stores.
why I put Superman out here, because I'm like, yeah, this is.
It's not Batman, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You had stores, kids, where you could purchase music, a concept nobody's familiar with. You would buy the item and get something for it, a service.
I don't think anyone younger than like 25 is watching
Yeah,
this.
no.
This is for historical record purposes. When they're when Gen Zs become elders and they watch this, you know,
From the experts.
from the experts, we dealt with cassettes. So we were in a Blockbuster music store, not a video.
Yeah.
They had a music store. We're in there. I'm with my mom.
I don't remember remember that.
And, you know, because I just wanted the Batman cassettes because it was Batman, not realizing that Prince made the first album, which was very influential.
Yeah.
And Danny Elfman did the score, which is also very influential.
That is.
Composer. Oh, but he did like tons of stuff like
Yeah.
Bongo, like
Movies.
anything with Johnny Depp in it, basically,
Yeah.
he scored.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
He's really great composer.
So which Batman?
Tim Burton, right? He did all of his.
I had the soundtrack for the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, and the score for that. But I also had this. You guys remember Jack Hanna? He was like the animal guy.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's infomercials like, "Hi, I'm Jack Hanna," and he's like petting a rhinoceros.
That's creepy.
You didn't watch TV that much, though.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
So he had like I don't know if he made the music. I doubt it, but I was like Jack Hanna is like world of animal music. Like, so there's like African music. There's like piano, all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
But I just remember being like, I like animals. I like very very simplistic thoughts, right?
That's cool.
But those are like the first cassettes that I had. So I was listening to Prince. I was listening to musical scores and Jack like world music. You know.
Oh my goodness.
And that's kind of what led me to like being interested in. It started with that simple thought, and that later evolved to being like, we grew up in the age of nu metal and
Yeah.
bangs and chains and Jinko.
Puka shells.
For me that was puka shells because I was allergic. Didn't know at the time. I'm allergic to like fucking everything. Didn't know then, but I have a metal allergy, so I couldn't wear the cool metal necklaces. I had to.
Crazy.
I had to be a soft boy. I had same hair, but it was cut to about here. It was like not quite a bowl because I had hair. It wasn't undercut.
Yeah.
But our late friend
was
Sam
like-
would say that I had operation hair. That was the best way to describe it. From the game
The
Operation.
game?
Yes. If you look at that guy, footage
Yeah,
here.
here we go.
Yeah.
Made me do a lot of
I don't,
editing.
know if
That.
I don't know if we can share that. Can we share that? Is it copywritten?
I don't know. Just
No,
block.
that seems like public domain. I'll look it up.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just block out operation.
Right.
Just put
Yeah, just show us.
Operation.
tubby man with red nose and Rick's hair.
Just some knockoff.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, I had operation hair and puka shells. Was not a hit with the ladies.
That was until like middle school, right? Or-
Yeah, but that led to
Early high
like
school.
guitar playing, and part of it was very fueled by like this, like I need to be cool. But then that turned into like, but I did have like a love for music because my brother and like I'm the youngest in an older family, so my siblings were Gen Xers and they listened to grunge and they listened to like grunge had a huge influence on me. So like my brother like had I got this funny memory of him like we had like this I don't know if it was an elliptical, I don't know what it was, but anyways it had like this like rubber band portion on it, and I remember he was just kind of like pedaling through it with his hands, and like it had like a Batman toy. It's like, oh no, Batman! Ah! And he's just kind of like putting his face on it until like it like destroyed my $20 sad. But next to it, he had like this giant CD case, which filled with music that I would later grow to love, like Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, like Pearl Jam, like all that stuff. Like just that's like what started my interest. My uncle's into music. He got me into Rage Against the Machine in like the late '90s. Because otherwise I would have like kept on the path of like I started like in 5th grade. I was like listening to like really, really like Savage Garden, Sting, or, like contemporary pop. Is when CDs were coming about, and I had a choice to buy something.
Yeah.
I was like starting to go down that route.
Yeah.
And my friends were just like, "What are you doing, bro?" Slayer, Metallica, way, and I'm just like, "Oh."
Dude, I was, you know how I used to work downtown at Wild About Music? I was working. I was working the floor for a little bit, and there was this girl. She was really young, probably like 18 or 17. She was with her parents, like family trip to Austin or whatever, right? And that's one of the stores that a lot of tourists stop at.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
it's so
No, I
Austin,
did the
it's
downtown
Wild
hustle.
About Music.
Yep.
But it's all things novelty items, right? Like just gifts. What are they called? Souvenirs and shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
gift shop stuff.
But yeah, and they have a lot of band tees though. So this girl pulls out a Slayer T-shirt, and she's like, "Slayer, really?" And then she like mouths off to her brother like, her brother's just like, "What's wrong with Slayer?" And she's like, "There's just so many better bands out there than Slayer." I was like, "All right, have you looked around the freaking store? Like, we got Tupac on the wall, you got George Strait. Like, what are you talking
Wait,
about?"
how old was this person?
Like 17, 18, around that. If I had to guess, I don't know.
That's interesting. I'd be very curious to know like what her listening
Yeah.
qualifications are. Probably
Yeah,
none because you're 17.
All the new stuff, that's come
I
out.
don't know. That's
You don't know anything yet.
It's wild though, like just those like smaller niche communities, like with metal music or even like ska, for example. I've had experiences being in that, I guess, type of show where there's an old school band, a staple of the whole ska genre. What do they call it? The Toasters. And apparently, yeah,
We're
there's
Toasters.
the Toasters, and there's
Is that the
this,
band? Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's this band here in Austin called Los Curados. It's like a Mexican ska band and Spanish ska band rather, and they're from Mexico. And one of the percussion players was kind of talking to one of my friends about how like the Toasters or any other like old ska bands like that, they need to kind of like just let their careers die or whatever. Just let the new new kids on the scene, you know, take over, give them the credit that's due to them and whatnot. Because nowadays a lot of them are singing about things like racism, but ska's always been about racism and against it. But now they're doing it in a different way, especially with like LGBTQIA plus rights in mind, and like there's all sorts of things, right? They've become very woke in smaller ska communities and things like that. So they there's a lot of criticism about these older bands, right, who might have misbehaved back in the day, and that was the norm and whatnot. So
everybody did. Everybody did
Yeah.
jacked up shit.
But it's just interesting to see those two like different worlds, right? Those two different generations just kind of like combating. Because there's another person that I really like in the ska community, Ska Network.
Yes.
You're familiar with, right? Does a lot of cool covers of like emo bands, just makes them, he ska-fies them, right? And he plays with a few bands that are contemporary that also are very similar. They have like trans lead singers and things like that, you know. They kind of have the same mindset. I noticed that's like a, you know, definitely an idea that's out there right now in the ska zeitgeist of like just let the old ones fade out and die and bring in the new crop.
See, the problem is that I would like to tell everybody is that the older generations didn't have to deal with that. I think at some point newer generations will reckon with is that there is a catalog of everything forever now that's inescapable, so nothing will ever die.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I can go on Spotify and click Ramones, or I can go find something contemporary I don't even know.
Right.
I have that option. Everybody has that option.
Yeah.
And so anything that's the trouble with pop culture. It's always about being fresh, hip, new. Like, and so these things are like they're fads, and it's just going to eventually turn into something else.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with that sentiment of like you have to let things die. Like nothing is dead anymore.
Yeah.
If anything, everything is kept going longer than it should have had we not had cameras on everything.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's recorded and quantified. I mean,
all that stuff can be so easily destroyed too and lost like in a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? It's
oh
so
no,
delicate,
yeah,
sensitive.
It's like the generation. Everything's delicate.
Well,
Everything's
yeah.
Like all it takes is one EMP, and like people are gonna be like,
Oh.
I'm hungry. The food. I can't order the food. It's like you got bigger problems than that.
Yeah, that stuff. That kind of stuff terrifies me. Like if the grid goes down. I mean, we've experienced it a little here in Texas.
Yeah, not having power for a little while.
Oh yeah. By the way, you fellow Texans, you better get your firewood and everything in order early. It's El Nino this season. Woo! It's gonna be cold and wet.
But it's coming at a different time or something. Something very different about it, right?
Oh,
That's
really?
gonna cause like more trouble than.
Well, I heard it's supposed to be like last year's winter, where like in February we experienced a lot of rain and like in a lot of water in small periods of time.
Yeah.
And because the ground's been so dry and hard, and I experienced this in the house that we're renting in the backyard.
Okay.
Because it didn't. I put in a French drain this summer. Because what was happening was there was a pool. I dug a ditch for a whole month. Let me tell
I remember
you,
that project.
That was some back-breaking work. But that was in April when the ground was still wet, so it wasn't like brutal middle of the summer.
Good thinking.
But I didn't know. I mean, didn't know it was gonna be as bad as it was. But I did that because what happened was when we got that rain, the ground. We have like foundation issues, like, and there's a lot of stuff going on back there. But the water just sat. And I'm like, oh, there's mosquitoes, like there's snakes, like, and I had a coral snake wrap around my boot when I was working out there, which coral snakes are native to the area. They're not common, but like, man, it freaked me out. Thankfully, they're not an aggressive species. It was as scared of me as I was it. It was kind of comical.
Those
like
are poisonous, aren't they?
Oh yes, extremely. But I looked this up further. They secrete their venom in slow rates, so they would have to bite you and continue to gnaw to do it. So. It's not like a water moccasin where that's like instantaneously or a rattlesnake. So that is. Yeah. Those things are just. I got like a bad phobia of snakes. So when that happened, I was like, ah! But the funny thing was the snake was like, ah! As well. Like I could see the snake was like, ah! Yeah, basically is what happened. Like that because like the yard that we have like it runs east and west, and like. I had Clara, and Claire's my dog. She's a cute little border collie. I had her on a tether, and so she was. like we have like a patio, and so she's like, you know, there's a pole, and I had her tethered to that. She's chilling. She's just happy. She's just hanging out. She's happy to be outside. She's just like, you know, she's a little pretty paws, a little pretty girl. She's hanging out there, you know, and just. And I'm on the other side, like, and I'm walking like with a big old bag of like grass I just mowed, and I'm like coming to like put in the cans next to her and put it, but she's facing, you know, out this way to the, I think it's the west. So walking up, and then like out of the corner of my eye, I think she had pooped in the general area, and I'm thinking like I'm trying not to step in dog shit is what my thought was. So I'm kind of like, I kind of see something like brown, and I'm kind of like, you know, and then I see it's moving. I'm like, oh, and so instinctually I just kind of like kick. And then that's when I looked and realized, oh, it was starting to like wrap its tail around my leg, and it did, but it was the end of its tail, and I don't think it knew like what I was doing, and so like I fling it, and then like it just equally was just like had this look of like shock. It just kind of like did like, oh shit, and so then I start like running, and then Claire's like, she's super high strung, she's a border collie, she's just like the fuck, and I'm like grab her her wire tether because I'm just like she's gonna like lunge after, like you don't go after that, so. And of course she did, and it like starts going through my hands. I'm like, ah! And just doubled down and just held it, and was like, oh, it's gonna hurt tomorrow.
Dang, that's intense.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's this new workout station that they put over at Lady Bird Lake. It's the river. I hate that they call it that so much, but down by the Guadalupe River.
The Guad.
It's a brand new workout station, dude. It's super nice over there by like past Auditorium Shores on the other side of Lamar. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you've seen it.
I've been there, and it's been a hot minute. Yeah,
it's really nice, and it's a lot of, you know, it's a calisthenic. I don't know how to pronounce it. Calisthenics, right? Calisthenics workout station. But they have like ropes, kind of like rope ladders and stuff, and lots of bars and things like that. Kind of like ring almost setups, but with like certain angles to, I guess, help promote stability or like make it a little easier. I don't know, but either way. I was like, okay, so these are all individual like exercises, but it's just all connected in this one mega structure, right? So I thought it'd be fun to just like climb up one end and like just transverse across the whole thing, you know? And it was kind of hard, you know, I haven't really done anything like that in a while. And just holding myself up, like grabbing the rope and trying to like swing over. I burned the hell out of my hand, dude. And I still have like the
I can see it. Yeah.
blister. It's just been working on it for weeks. I was like,
Calisthenics.
Calisthenics. And I should know that. I'm a freaking kinesiology major, but I just never deal with that. Like,
I could never remember. It's kinesiology.
Kinesiology.
I was trying to remember the other day.
I got
That's gonna bother me until we look it up.
the kinesthetics. What?
Word.
It is
calisthenics.
Calisthenics. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in that. It used to be my workout routine.
Because I used to call it just calisthenics or some shit.
I used to call it something very odd as well.
But it's calisthenics.
Recently, Ashley has called me out on, and I blame my mom for this, because I would never call tortilla chips because my mom would call them tostadas.
Tostadas. That's the El Paso, right?
It is, but those are not tostadas. So when I first started dating Ashley, I was like, hey, bring some tostadas over because I'm making like, so she goes and she's so confused. She's just kind of like, she tells me this after the fact. She's at the store and she's just like, why does he want like these big old flat tortillas? Okay, so she comes over and I'm just like, these aren't tostadas. She's like, these are tostadas, and I'm like, they're not tostadas, and she's like, this is like a date 4 or something, you know? So like, whatever, it's cool. Like I just
it says it on the freaking package.
and I was like, well, yeah, I was like, oh, what I meant was like tortilla chips. She's like, well, that's what they're called, tortilla chips, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
There's so many things that El Paso screwed me up, like
it's so stupid.
our own colloquialisms that we have.
I don't like the superiority complex that El Paso has.
That's what it is. Drives me crazy. Everybody's so combative, man.
Yeah,
I was like, I had to breed it out of myself, but it was there.
Dude, and I learned that the second I moved out and I was living in San Marcos. I was like, El Paso has a superiority. Like every time someone come over and they'd be like, oh, this isn't real Mexican food or whatever. And I'm like, it is. It's
My mom still
different.
says that, being in Dallas. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like if you travel, like you can go to Mexico City, you're gonna be like, oh, this isn't. It's like it's because it's not from El Paso. That's all it is.
It's like legit Mexican food.
Yeah.
Like it's real Mexican
It's
food.
just, I mean, I love most kinds of Mexican food. When I say most, I mean like, you know, I'm down with San Antonio, I'm down with Austin, I'm down with like the variations. Even in here, like there's just so many variants of it. And the further west you start to travel, getting to El Paso, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, it just morphs. But it's like a gradual morph that happens.
Yeah.
I like Colorado Mexican food. It's different, but I like New Mexican food. It's just different.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go in there with the expectation. It's like going to, I don't know, like let's get off the subject of like tacos and Mexican, but let's say you're gonna like, it's like going to like I want Italian food, right? And you're like, I want a pizza. And you're like, I don't know, and you're somebody who's like from the East Coast, you know, because there's like a whole conversation about like, well, this pizza's better Detroit style. It's like the same shit, you know. It's like it's just morphs,
Absolutely.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're Sicilian, you're like, you're all stupid.
And then pizza isn't even really Italian, right?
Isn't it Chinese?
Something like that. I don't remember. Yeah.
I think pizza and like spaghetti even or
Yeah.
pasta are both Chinese.
Pasta.
Not-
might-
Well, that
100%
makes
sure.
sense because they went to the Orient, right? And
that's what they
Asia.
used to call it, or it is called. I don't know. I don't know what's proper.
I don't know. 'Cause you don't say Oriental because I always correct my mom on that.
Well, you don't call people Orient.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you can say things of the
I
Orient.
just
or
don't know
like-
the origin of that word. I know what it's referring to, the place, an area, but I
Yeah.
don't know like anything behind it.
Yeah.
So, if anybody's out there in this, sorry, educate us.
And if you have the answers, please let us know.
I really don't care.
So true.
Remember we had the Oriental Market in El Paso? Did you ever go there?
Do they call it
No,
that?
you didn't.
Oh wow.
Right by Carnitas Querétaro and Señor Frog.
Carnitas Querétaro.
Foxy's. Remember Foxy's strip club? It was right
Yeah,
there.
rest in peace.
It's no longer there.
No.
The structure of it still is. Yeah.
Should remake it.
You know,
It's
I
a
never
cool building. Like the aesthetic the
outside.
Yeah, it's a
I never went inside. I
Oh,
never.
no?
No, I went to other strip clubs, but
It was
not that
grimy.
one.
For sure. I mean, all strip clubs.
Yeah, that one's probably
good
grimier
ones.
than most.
You've been.
Well, I went to one good one.
I just like I don't know. I had a bad experience at the strip club, you know, and like being able to smell someone else's butthole that I don't know, like right in my face. I'm just like, I don't know if I like this. Like, how dirty? How many faces has this butthole been in for one? And like today.
I love that your mind goes there. Yeah, I was so desperate and horny in my early 20s when I last went to one. I was just like, big cochino. I was like, yeah, baby, I'm drunk.
I could not, dude.
I could smell the gruel. I was like, oh yeah.
There are smells. It was a
Yeah.
thing. It is
Yeah,
a thing,
dude. I mean,
yeah.
it is. And nothing against strippers. I support sex work 100%. Absolutely. I think you should be free to do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. But it's not for me, and I don't want to spend my money there, you know, for nothing.
Yeah, see that there's two things that I don't do because I'm poor: strip clubs and gambling. Like
Yeah.
I don't get anything from it.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't tantalize me.
If I had the money,
I'm a
I
cheap
would
bastard.
totally be like a regular customer for prostitution. If I had the money, like 100%, you know, I'd be so down. Because why not? Like,
No.
it sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful, you know?
You're getting exactly what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like they're paid to like treat you right, you know, and be good to you,
True.
whatever, make you feel good, and all you have fun, and like hopefully they can have fun too. But I don't know, I get different.
Yeah, well, it's like all jobs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've noticed this when you start talking to people about any field of work. And I mean, granted, there's nuanced things, but at some point when you do a job enough, like you become a professional at your job, you know, it's just like you don't really like you start to tune out. And I think everybody can relate to this because like what we do is like you're looking at paperwork all day, and you just at some point some things you just inherently like, yeah, good, and think about it, whatever. Yeah, here we go, more.
Because why?
And it's like the same thing. It's no different than when you're just like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, good. Oh yeah, okay, oh baby, great, and then you're just like, all right. It's like the same. Because like sometimes it happens to me because I've played the same songs for so long because like we released the album in 2020. The band had so many different people, and I wrote some of those songs years ago.
Yeah.
So like I get to the point where I'm just like, even like when I'm like feeling it, you know what I mean? Like some of them, I'm gonna get it for a second. Like, you know, there's even some things I do when I'm just like doing stuff on stage, you know? I'm just open for the camera. I'm just like doing stuff, and I'm just like, there's certain moments where I know to like lift the guitar
Watch
here.
the microphone.
you
Watch
know?
the microphone. It's gonna fall out.
That's your intro. Watch the microphone. Watch the microphone. Welcome to Tibetan
I
Skyburial.
want it to fly off. See, it's flipped
Yeah.
upside down again.
Hey, little buddy. How you doing there? Gonna flip you upside down?
Just clip it in there. I'm gonna start clipping people myself.
Yeah, that's the professional thing to do.
I didn't know. I'm learning on the job, dude. That's how I learned best.
Still on?
Here, we'll fix it real quick. We'll cut this part out.
And I mean, speaking of work and you know how grueling it is, and it's why is it so grueling? Because it's fucking hard out here. Nailed it. Oh, we got it.
Yes.
One for the books. We're gonna win that. Yeah, good job.
I'm here to support. Support it. Yeah.
That was the weakest high five. There we go.
I know, we missed it. See, the trick is to never miss a high five. High five, you look at the other person's elbow. You'll never miss.
What?
Well, go for it. No.
Yeah, look, so.
What?
So, like.
Didn't work, bro.
No, I was adjusting myself. Your couch here is like eating me, man. I've been like, if who was watching, they're gonna like
It's a cozy couch.
I know it is, but they're gonna watch it and they're just gonna be like, he's just like.
Dude, we constantly shift and move and stuff. I
Yeah.
notice that by myself. I'm always like,
Yeah. You got the loosen up the shirt when
Yeah.
fat people wear shirts. You know,
That's me.
Oh, no, I do that. I'm doing that. I was like,
I don't. Well, I do. I gotta do it for my back though.
yeah. I
Because
have
that's what it
those.
is,
my
man.
shirts run straight down, and because I have like a little arch in my lower back, there's like a huge gap right there. So that's where the shirt like tends to crumple up, and I have to like adjust it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Some shirts though they fit really tight and nice, and
Yeah, I don't wear those
Yeah, don't worry, you
anymore.
look normal.
Great. But so you look at the other person's elbow, and then yeah, ready?
Nope. It didn't work. I mean, there was a high five, sure, but
Right.
it wasn't a good connection.
Oh,
you know what
well,
I mean?
oh man, all right.
All right, that was better. And that's hard for me to do.
But I'm also not very coordinated. 'Cause, like
I have terrible rhythm.
because when people go for like handshakes and they want to do all that stuff, like what I found, we talked about this recently. Like what I do is I just like somebody's coming in, like they're giving me something, give me a flipper, they're giving me a finger or whatever. And when I was like, I just come in and like, I just own it. I'm just like, hey, we're hugging now.
Yeah.
So if you felt awkward, if you didn't feel awkward, you totally feel awkward now if you don't like hugging. Because I just made you do that. Doesn't matter how close we are.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I forgot about this scene in Superbad. Oh man, I watched that movie recently and just had me cracking up. So it's a part where Michael Cera's character is talking to the girl that he has a crush on, and he's like, "Yeah, I could totally like do that for you guys, get you some alcohol." And she's like, "Sweet, that's awesome." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's gonna like give her like a friendly punch on the shoulder.
And he like slugs her.
Punches he punches her tit and she turns, or no, someone bumps into her and then he just like and he's like and it's like this super awkward moment, dude, and I could not stop laughing because both of them are, she's just like oh my god.
Solidarity.
It is so inappropriate. These are high school students that we're supposed to be watching. Like,
I hate movies that are like that. Like that show, freaking Euphoria, where it's like follows teenagers around and all they're doing is having sex all the time. I can't stand
dude, I'm surprised
it.
that even modern shows are still going with that whole like bit.
I know,
It's
and
like high
then
school
like
kids.
so
They're
many people
underage.
that are all like whatever, like I guess woke culture maybe.
I love the contrast of society. We got the liberals got the damn the pedophiles hanging out in the pizza place, which is kind of not like wrong. But then you got your Jeffrey Epsteins and whatnot, and then you got the flip side where it's just like we have children fucking on HBO.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, like,
have you seen that show? It's so good.
And it was like usually I haven't seen it, but usually like when I had younger coworkers, they'd always talk about it and they were so about it, and I'm like,
yeah. How does
I'm like,
Sounds like a red
adults
flag.
made this.
adults made it? Dude,
People that were probably in their 30s, 40s, 50s made this.
the only one that I'm okay with is Big Mouth.
Oh my! I
Sorry,
hate
big
that show.
that show. I hate it.
I hate that show.
Because I hated middle
a
school.
cartoon, so it's, like, hilarious to
It's that awkward time. Not just the premise of it, but God, I hated middle school. I hated that. So it's just like this is making me feel uncomfortable for no reason. I choose not to watch it.
Yeah, that's
'Cause it's just like an
No,
awkward
just-
phase in life that I don't want to
just
revisit.
watching
That's what
children
should
doing that
everyone.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's how everyone should live their life, dude. Like, hey, you don't like drag shows? Don't watch them. Don't
Yeah.
go to them. Like, leave. Don't support. Like, go.
It's a great point because I don't have a blog about how much I hate that show.
Well, I mean, okay.
Remove it from
If I
everybody's
have
eyes.
space, I'm gonna talk shit about it. Like, I'm not gonna watch it or whatever, but I'm gonna be like,
Freedom
y'all
of speech.
should watch
Freedom
that.
of speech.
I think it's like, yeah, totally. I think as long as you're not harming an individual.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what it comes down to, And then I think people will take liberties and that's subjective.
Of course.
But if you're not harming somebody, then just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, gotta twist.
Go
it.
about your business.
Yeah.
Every which way to make it seem as more harmful than it actually is, and I don't know. There are accusations of actual groomers out there, but I'm like, they come from all facets of society, not
Yeah.
just queer people or like drag
Yeah.
queens. It comes from all
Kids to
over.
be straight constantly.
Priests are a great example
Is
of that.
humanity corrupt? Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
So
Like,
therefore, every gender person, there can be corruption in
Yeah.
anything.
that's one thing that I had to like mention to someone a while ago, where I was just like, hey, just because they're like trans or black, whatever, doesn't mean they're a good person. I'm sorry, like they can still
I
be really
disagree.
bad.
There can be pieces of shit in every culture, every gender, every walk of life.
Oh yeah.
And there
well,
are.
I just give a hard benefit of the doubt.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
I just always take everyone as an individual on a
Yeah.
case-by-case basis.
I tried my best to do that.
It's more about self-preservation is where that comes from for me, because that's just me being like, neurotic in my head of like, what do you want from me?
That's me
What are you
too.
taking?
Dang,
Except
that's
I'm
dark.
also extra trustworthy, so that sucks.
I'm not trustworthy at
Yeah.
all. I question in my head. I'm always very friendly and like it's genuine. It's from a genuine place. I'll give somebody like
Yeah.
a bit of warmth, right? But on the inside, I'm just like it's like nuclear fallout shelter, armed guards, alligators, gorillas, giraffes, with laser beams. I'm just like make one fucking wrong move.
Freaking laser beam.
I'll do that if I hate somebody. Like, if they wrong me, then I'm like, yeah, I hate you so much, and it'll never change.
Yeah, I mean, I can forgive people to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like some people can like do something, and you're just like, oh, so annoying. 'Cause I have like, if I think about my relationships with people who I still know, there's been points where there's like high feelings of being contempt, for whatever reason. But then if you look back on the trajectory of life, it's like, it was such a small moment. I was a child at that point.
Yeah.
When what I was like, I was like 19, you know what I mean? It's like, what I was feeling like angry about was just trivial. It's just like growing pains and stuff.
Absolutely.
And like, for whatever, those things are, like, I've kept those friendships and things, because it's just like, in the moment, like, it was like, I hope you slip on a banana peel and lose a tooth,
The video I just showed you, that guy slipping on a banana peel. He wanted to find out if it was true, and so he put a banana peel down on his kitchen floor and just like, whoop.
Yeah.
He probably exaggerated it though.
Yeah,
For the video. Get those likes.
It's good content.
Wear boots. Wear boots and wear them out, and you will slip on everything.
I was about to say, are they super slippery?
I have another pair where they were resold, and I didn't realize the guy was going to do this, but he put on like good rubber on the bottom of them.
Yeah.
Those are my stage shoes because, because you sweat things, and you know what I mean. So it was great to perform in those.
Yeah.
And plus, they're like broken across.
Some
So.
grip up
You ever
there.
busted ass on stage?
Not yet, but I'm getting more liberal with my moves, so we'll see how this Friday goes.
September 29th. Yeah,
September 29th, the Kick Butt Coffee.
Man, they had such a good show last night that I wanted to go to. Oh, I hate it.
Mm.
Because Kick Butt Coffee is one of the venues that still hosts metal and punk and ska.
But we're playing with
all
punk
those,
bands.
dude.
If y'all, I would
Oh my
recommend you should come if you can make it.
Can't.
Wait.
Fridays are bad for us.
It's the 29th,
We're playing with Throat
Friday.
Piss.
Friday? Oh, that's pretty
Throat Piss.
Yeah.
one.
I don't know.
Brilliant.
Freaking work.
Saxophone
Work.
player.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I just
Hey.
said. We have Fridays don't work for us.
So we're gonna need y'all to like boost this up so that we can stop doing that and go to shows.
So we can live a privileged life, please.
Come on, we'll give it back.
We'll give it back. We're in this together, guys. Oh my god! Like, so there's a podcast I watch, YMH, Your Mom's House. They're talking about like, hey, we hit this marker, like we did it together, guys. And then they started talking shit on how like that's funny how we say things like that, right? Like we did it together. I was like, no, like we did it. You guys supported us. They're very open. Like I love it because it's a comedy podcast. And it's Tom Segura and
Nice.
his wife, Christina Pazinski, or Christina. No, it's Christine. Is it Christine or Christina? I'm so sorry. I don't remember.
She's gonna find you in the comments.
No, she's cool. She gets it. She knows people mess up her name all the time like that too. And I
I
just
think it's
did it.
Christina.
Either way, I think it is Christina. Yeah.
Christina.
But either way, what was I
Trying to
saying?
think of what the intro.
They talk shit on like they call them the pores. And so
We are the
they
pores.
have like
Because we're always begging the rich people for money.
yeah, and then they have like running bit about how like only poor people use washcloths in the shower. Like this is one of the discoveries they came across, and like through their research, they're like, yeah, nothing but poors use washcloths. Like it's disgusting. So they started selling washcloths that say for pores or something like that on it.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's such a funny.
They're probably selling well too.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, their fan base are like some of the lowest of the low, like scum of the earth type people.
They're loyal as
I'm sure they're
frick.
great individuals at heart, but yeah, like, because the shit that they get away with, it's crazy.
You remember when we went to go see the Machine and we were like, this looks like their fan base.
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer, yeah.
They're best friends, him and Tom Segura.
That makes sense. Somebody sent me a clip recently where they're like, it was funny because like it was like a minute clip and he's just like, so what are you drinking? Like they're starting a podcast and he's got like a big old like gallon of something and he's like Kool-Aid and he's like
Kool-Aid.
and he's like
Kool-Aid.
what? And he's like it's really cool. And he just can't stop laughing for like a minute straight. He's like, yeah, he's like in tears with no air.
That's how he
You're a
starts
grown
his
man. You're walking around drinking a jug of Kool-Aid. He thought it was like the funniest thing.
No, Bert Kreischer's,
Yeah.
he's an interesting
He's
character
a
for sure.
trip, yeah.
And I mean the lowest, but I want to go back to what I said, the lowest of the low. Like I mean no shade on that community or those.
We
types of
mean
people.
the illegal immigrant poors of this country. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Endearing. We mean endearing.
It's so endearing. I love that the people like that exist. It's necessary because y'all like do support that type of humor. I mean, we support that type of humor.
Yeah.
We love it. We get such a kick
Yeah.
out of it.
I'm
We're
part
like,
of that in the lows.
I want to share something with y'all and the internet.
yeah.
I told Ashley this the other day. She's like, we're way too comfortable for you to be telling me this. It's in the bathroom, so I don't know what I ate. Like, I'm allergic to 10,000 things. Like, this is what my life is like. I'm going to backstory it. So I ate at Chipotle. Come to find out why my stomach's all gurgly. Not because it's Chipotle. It's not like one of those like Taco Bell myths, right?
Yeah.
Because I have an allergen to sunflower oil. Turns out all their vegetables they blather in sunflower oil. Had no clue.
Yeah.
So now I know how. Now I have to eat Chipotle with only lettuce and then meat and beans and rice, and that's my Chipotle experience.
Yeah, that's not too bad though.
Yeah.
It's probably better.
I just feel ripped off because I want like something else, like some
want
queso or
veggies?
guac.
Yeah.
So, but then I'm like, well, great. I just paid $16 to add some guac, to add some veggies. That wouldn't cost me this much.
We're
'Cause
so fortunate, man. Like we, some of the people at the gym that we go to, they like harp on like seed oils. They're terrible for you. Try to avoid the seed oils.
Yeah,
And like
so we've been doing that.
when we try to cut that out, like we noticed our oat milk has seed oil, and we're like,
Yeah.
why?
There's all kinds of extra crap and crap. Like, just
Yeah.
give me like something. Like, do I get to get my own cow and put my tit in its mouth? Like that's.
Yes.
So that bag of mixed nuts, I take it to work with me, and I munch on it. That's the only mix, and it's like the, what do you call it? Like the loose leaf mix, right?
The bulk section.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pour your own or whatever.
Right.
It's the only mix. It doesn't have any seed oils in it.
There's so many
Dude, I went
mixes.
through all of them. I was like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it's
that's the only like pure one.
It's seeds. What
I've
if
been
we
on
need to add
so many
seed oil
different
too?
diets, and like it is a nightmare when you are trying to like pinpoint things because you're like
been through
every.
so many diets, dude.
Yeah, I've been paleo. I've even tried vegan. I've done gluten free. Did I do vegetarian? I didn't do pescatarian. Not that it would really matter, but still, all my allergies, I have to label read everything. There was points in my life where like it was traumatizing to go to the grocery store because I'd be there and be like, "Oh, is this safe? Is this safe?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, hold on, like,
such a
I was like, I have to like. I need to make something quick because I don't have time to make stuff every day.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you're
another
just like, I'm sitting there just like having a meltdown, like staring at a bottle, and somebody's like, that poor guy.
Dude, you want to talk about how hard it is? Like, this dude has like one of the roughest lives that I know personally.
Because it's like anything healthy. Like I could never be vegan.
Yeah.
Because of like that's the shit that I can't
processed
eat.
stuff,
Everything. Well, it's coconut oil, almond oil, oat to a degree. I can do that, but like I've cut it out because I built up a tolerance, and then I cut it out, and I had like a little oat bar the other day, and I was like, oh man, I have no tolerance again. Like this sucks.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get because I had a very strict diet. I got in the best shape and health of my life in 2020, and I maintained it through 21, and then I fell off the bandwagon. And I'm at the point now where I'm just like, Wendy's, all right. Oh no, like I'm completely off. I'm completely off of it, but I'm trying to get back on it because like I felt better. I was more functional, but it's like it's a process because you have to build in time to meal prep. You have to build in time, and it's like hard to keep it with a workout. And to have like that mental space to be able to function, run a band, take care of a dog, travel, be with a girlfriend. Like it's just all these components, and then you got somebody like starting some shit at work, and you got to start like a coup at work. Like it's just a lot of stuff to like balance. Not a joke.
Yeah, dude,
It's just like a lot where you're just like, just the diet. I don't care about the diet. There's too much going
let
on.
something go.
Who am I voting for president? I'm gonna have the lights gonna be on, the freeze at me. Like, I don't know. Did I put air in my tires? My car's at 120,000 miles. Can I keep all this stuff together without having a meltdown? It's a lot.
So what happened in the bathroom?
So backtrack. The funniest moment that I had yesterday. So, yeah, I had Chipotle. So the Chipotle was actually after. So whatever upset my stomach was not Chipotle. But I had something. I don't know what it was. And so I was going to the bathroom like 4 times that day. It was like maybe in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I probably went like 8 times in the day in that total. But in the morning it's like 7 a.m. and when I'm at my job nobody's there.
Yeah.
But like I'm just in the toilet and I'm just like sitting there and just like this fart is just coming out. It's like. I'm like, whoa! Like this is just kept going.
Like
I'm pushing,
You are pushing.
and like, but it's like very lightly because like it's just like a little rough coming out because everything's upset, and I'm just like, but it's just like. I swear, it was like 20 to 30 seconds, and then I started laughing at the end of it because it was so much. I was like, and I'm like, somebody's like walking by, hearing the echo chamber of this bathroom. So I'm the only one in it at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you can hear a pin drop. Somebody's walking by and just hearing like, like a 30-second fart. Somebody walked by and went like, that man needs Jesus.
Dude, I hate that I hate the work culture. So for those that don't know, Rick and I work together, and are at the same place. It's the second time we worked together in our
twice,
lives.
yeah.
But
You've got me jobs twice.
yeah, I didn't get them for you. I was
Well,
just a reference. I was like, hey, dude, there's an opening.
You got me out of some like you made a good gesture when I was in bad situations twice, and it worked out. You know.
That's what good friends do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like this one,
do,
like,
y'all.
yeah. I lost a job, pandemic hit, and I was like, government money's nice, but I need to go to work.
That's a great story, dude. You were about to go just like travel the country, and then pandemic.
Yeah, it would
You
be
had
good.
it all lined up.
It
Talk
would,
about that a
it
little
would
bit.
be
That's
good to talk about that. I
fascinating.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, let's think. 2019, I was kind of like in a fragile mental state before the pandemic hit because I've been struggling with my health, trying to get my dietary situations figured out, and I've been on Accutane for like the fucking 4th or 5th time. Beyond when you can continue to keep taking it, it's like the last time, like I can't do that anymore. It's terrible for your body.
Yeah.
And if you've never been on it, it's like a preview of being 70 years old. All your joints hurt. You have no energy, and you're on it for 6 months. So by the end of the 6th month, and the doctor wanted to keep me on it a little bit longer, but I just had zero energy. Like it hurt to get up and do things. And my job at the time, I was moving heavy equipment around constantly. So it was just like everything hurt. And so finally I was at the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I just like, no, I'm done. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, so I ended up kind of like, I was in this fragile mental state, and I was kind of like, I got fired from my job because I went off on my boss.
Oh no.
And I mean, like, there was no other outcome than that, you know?
Rightly so.
Like, you go off on your boss, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Whether you're right or not. That's just how the world
Yeah.
is. And so, like, I kind of knew it because I remember, like, as I was like, you know, he like was, and then also, like, you know, to be fair, like, if I put myself in a managerial position now, like, in the current day, age, and culture, you know, people are gonna flip out if they're gonna like do something crazy because that's like more of a common thing now. So I mean,
Yeah.
flipping the tables, I'd be like, okay, cool, bye bye. But you know, like I mean, you know, he like got me out of the building, and like, okay, it was towards the end of the shift anyways. But it's just kind of like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was getting in my car. I was like, he doesn't work on Wednesdays. I was like, oh, I'm fired. I knew. I pieced it together. I was like, oh, I'm fired.
Yeah.
But I was just like, because I knew I was like, you shouldn't pop off. But it was a lot of things that just like led to that moment in the workplace and outside of the workplace, just the right combination of shit. And so like, got let go, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna take a month off. Like, I have not had work for a long time. I wasn't like, I didn't have like a ton of money saved up or anything, but I was just like,
Enough.
you know what? I was enough to like, for a month to like get by, you know, pay bills and not really worry too much. And I knew I could land somewhere and do something at the bare minimum. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna like, kind of figure out myself, find myself, because I've been putting a lot of stock in trying to get my band together. And that was kind of going, kind of not. Like I was already in debt, like $5,000 from recordings and just kind of like a lot of stuff. And they weren't complete because I didn't have a vocalist. You know, that was before my old bass player was like, we should do the vocals. And that's how I became a vocalist, which is like the story of every vocalist ever. If you look it up, same thing with Hetfield from Metallica. Like it's such a common story, most people. So, but before we'd figured that out, I'm just like, I'm gonna go find myself. You know, I'm going on a spiritual journey. So like I went, you know, I got a bicycle from Letty. I ended up going to a bookstore. I bought like 10 books. I'm like, I'm gonna go to every like Texas State Park and like other parks. I want to go to like Yosemite. Like I thought this through, but not all the way. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna go on like just like find myself. I'm gonna like got all this like gear. I'm gonna like camping spots. I'm just gonna like, you know, live off of like, you know, grocery stores. You get a little something this. Do it for a month. Just read, ride a bike, you know, have my car, and that's it. I didn't have a dog at that point. You know, I was just like, cool. So then, like, you know, every day getting updates and the world's like changing and things are getting worse and things are shutting down. And like, I was in the building for one of the last shows of 2020 when it was like, Trump has shut down the country. And it's like, oh, this show feels weird now. Okay, well, let's just get drunk and enjoy the night and we'll go home because we're all gonna die from a virus. And then, you know, then now all of a sudden, like, I couldn't do it anymore. But I think it worked out for the best because like, had I done that and not having had the experiences that I would have later where I did more responsibly travel in my car on the weekends to go hiking and stuff like that. Right. You don't realize how grueling a lot of that is. Like I did an 8-hour hike in Palo Duro Canyon in 100 degrees. Yeah. On the Comanche Trail. It was amazing. I mean, I trained for it though for 2 months and I trained my dog too. Like I got us in great condition. I mean, I carried her the last mile out of there and I was in shape to do that, you know, but she lasted with me though. Like she was good, you know what I mean? But she like her legs like so I felt so bad. I walked her the other day and I was like, oh, your poor little legs have atrophied and daddy's got a gut. We need to go do stuff. Because her legs were like, she was thick. She, like my dog's back legs, like she was stacked. She was like, she could go. My dog can hop 6-foot fences.
Yeah, dogs.
But yeah, so I kind of like I'm glad that didn't happen. But I kind of like there's been a couple points I feel like I bottomed out. I hadn't bottomed out, but that definitely was like a place where I looked inward to figure out like, are we bottoming out? What are we doing here? Is this an opportunity? You fucked up. You yelled at your boss. That wasn't good, Rick. Bad Rick. Let's go do something that's fun. So it's like, well, this isn't a reward, but it's an opportunity. And so it didn't quite work out, but it did. And then it got to the place where like, okay, I need to work. The country shut down. So you was like, hey man, like, and I was also worried about the virus at that point because we knew a lot less about it, and the early stages of just like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. Yeah. And so I was like, hey, working in a lab is great. I won't be around people, same people I'll be around. Right. We had full PPE. I was like, this makes sense. I can work on my music, like cool, safe job. And lo and behold, 3 years later, still there.
Yeah. Sounds like a really good place, y'all. Like job security. It's fantastic.
There's that for sure.
Well, we have job security because of a certain department that is always fucking up.
I mean,
they keep our job relevant.
That's true. That's our whole entire purpose there is to like correct the mistakes.
My purpose is to look at paperwork. You are an idiot. Why did you do this?
Yeah. We're grading everybody's papers essentially and just be like, hey, can you make this one a little bit more legible? It kind of looks like a T. I know. I'm right there with you. That's what they have us doing at Boss. It's not me. We're cool. They'll just, can I get you to do that, please?
Then they hate y'all.
Probably. Well, no, actually, Rick has a really good
I have good rapport with the lab. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like me. I like them too.
No.
It's just communication skill. That's all it comes down to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I just keep it real. I'm just like, hey, I don't make the rules. You messed up, but it's cool. Yeah. And I like, how's your day going? I did work downtown forever. And it's just a matter of like, I don't know, you just talk to so many people all the time. You just kind of like realize like, it's just, you can talk to anybody about anything if you just find the right subject matter, Sure, because we all have the same experiences. We all piss, we all shit, we're all hungry, we're all tired, we're all horny. You know what I mean? There's at the bare minimum, you got that, if nothing else.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there are asexual folks out there,
and there's always, hey, how's the weather?
There are anorexics out there, and there are. No, I'm just kidding.
There is one disturbing person on TikTok.
Okay.
Like it's a whole account.
I heard about them. Yeah, they're pretty TikTok famous.
Yeah. There's an sheet for being anorexic. That is their whole account.
God.
That's the whole personality.
And it's like,
it's
like
disturbing.
if you ask
She's getting praised for that?
Yep.
If you ask a younger person about it, they will know who they're.
Yeah. That famous.
Bert Kreischer mentioned it recently on one of the podcast episodes. I think it was Two Bears, One Cave, and he was like, "My daughter, Isla, she knew exactly who that was right away. She's like, oh yeah, that's so and so, like she's well known,
But maybe
I've seen her.
I
just don't know names.
Maybe it's one of those things. It's kind of like when we were younger. It's like things just went around. You know what I mean? It was kind of like. More slice beating up people, 2 girls, 1 cup. Maybe it's just like, oh, hey, look, an anorexic person. I don't know.
Good old days.
I don't know if that's how they're taking it. I'm sure there's a degree of people who are like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Mr. Hands.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I mean that was a real wild time when everything shut down and I was like, yeah, dude, the lab's closed off. You got to worry about what the people that work there are doing outside of work. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty chill,
Yeah, I mean,
too crazy.
A lot of people I think went through a period of mourning and self-discovery from 2020 onward because when you look back at the timeline,
no.
Well, good for you. I mean, honestly, there was a degree. I'm not gonna be honest because I'd been through all the health stuff and all that leading up to that.
Yeah.
And I'd had mental health problems like depression and stuff leading up to that. Yeah. When there was a moment, and it sounds fucked up, but I was just like, oh wow, everyone's down to my level. We have been equalized. Hello, everybody. Yeah. I'm actually doing all right. I was like, I can work out. I can control my meals. The government's paying me. The first weeks, I was drunk like everybody else, and then I was like, okay, let's do stuff. And then I was like, working on music. I started running every day. I started bicycling because I was so out of shape. I was drinking and bicycling, and I cut the drinking out. I was just bicycling. And then I started running, calisthenics, and then the diet came. And then I was by the time I had the job, and this just from March of 2020 to August of 2020, I was a machine in 2020.
Yeah. Oh wow.
my workout routine, like, man, I'm a shadow of my former self, but I was like very accomplished with
It's
myself.
easy to just like let that go, dude. I mean, supposedly from what I learned in like exercise physiology, it only takes 2 weeks to lose every single gain.
Yeah, it's
that you ever
maintenance.
had. That's it. Yeah. It takes 2 weeks and it takes like 3 months to build that up or whatever, and then you can lose into or however long you have it. If you hit like a plateau and sustain that, 2 weeks of nothing, you're done.
Yeah.
I gotta start all over again. So yeah, it's really easy to lose that.
It's just cycles. Except what happened, like I moved, and I had to move because my dog was like peeing in the house, and it was out of just anxiety. Because I lived in a studio, which was awesome. But, you know, for a dog, with people coming in all the time, the dog is a rescue, it's just not good for her. So I had to make moving made sense because it was starting to cause some issues, and that made sense to like, okay, let's just leave and get to a new spot. But then I was also started dating somebody, and I transitioned my job, and I came off 2 funerals, and so it was just like a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so trying to maintain like a workout routine was kind of like just slipping off, because also I went from going to work at 2:30 p.m., getting off at 10:30, which that schedule was awesome, to waking up at 4 to go to work at 6 to get off at 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And so like I was all kinds of just jacked up, you know?
yeah.
Like I remember like my first few weeks in the office, like I was trying not to be sad about, like I still had feelings about all these deaths, but then it's like, I have to learn a new job.
Yeah.
And it's 4 in the morning and my brain is scrambled. And I also had, I've had like COVID brain, you know, like my short term is just jacked. It's not what it used to be. And so I remember sitting there in the office being like, they're trying to teach me these more complicated thought processes and how to investigate this paperwork and mistakes, and it's all foreign to me. And even now that I've been there, like in this position for a year and a half, like now everything is like, I got it. It's clicks. Like I'm in the flow state of it.
It takes about that long, yeah.
But it takes a while. And then on top of that, the workplace went to crap like everybody else's workplace did. And so, like last year was just like a whole bunch of like, why am I waking up in the morning?
Dude, that's a hard time to wake up, like for anything.
Oh gosh, it's so gross.
Which is why I scream into microphones for fun.
Yeah. I mean, we were going to 6 a.m. jiu-jitsu classes for a while once
That
we
was
like
tough,
barely
waking up at
started
5.
jiu-jitsu. Oh my God. But we were like all about it. We're like, let's go. And then we quickly realized like we're not healing properly because we're not resting.
Sleep is so essential.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a functioning zombie. Like the only day of the week I feel good is Mondays. It's because it's my Sunday.
Yeah, you're rested.
Because I've slept 2 days with full 8 hours.
Yeah.
And when I didn't have a schedule, I would wake up in the morning. I was a machine. Granted, I wasn't dating and I didn't have the dog, but I would wake up and what was the first thing I'd do? I'd wake up, have coffee, get my phone, start doing band stuff, a couple hours, sit on the couch, then, you know, just work out, make breakfast, go on a run, go on a walk. When I had the dog, then the dog got incorporated. Go on a walk, you know, then come back, make lunch, shower, go to work. Sometimes I'd even sneak in like writing some music, go to work, get off work, come home, eat dinner, work on music specifically in the nighttime because that's when I function better for it, from like 9 to like 12 or 1 a.m. if it went that long. But it wasn't, that wasn't work though, because like work was work. Once I got off work, it was a relief.
Right, yeah.
And the work that I did was physical, so it was nice to stimulate my brain because I had repetitive work. It was just shake a box 15 times.
Oh, that's when you were in the other
turn it
department.
around,
Yeah,
shake
yeah.
a box 15 times.
Yeah.
Okay, now take out 324 samples and you put it in little blocks.
Yeah.
Do that 8 times and then put that in the centrifuge, bloop, bake it for 10 minutes. Oop, we got a cake. And take the cake out and go put it on a different machine. And
There
I
was
just
a good
did the same
system
thing
for a
over
while
and over.
though, where like we had a lot of, we would start all of the centrifuges at once for like routine samples, right? It
Yeah.
was 49 minutes a piece, so all of them would start running, and like we would just chill. And just wait.
Sometimes I miss the simplicity of that job because I had free mental space to do what I wanted. And because it wasn't physically taxing, I could be physically taxing outside of that job.
Yeah, right.
Just the pay. If the pay was higher, I'd probably go back to it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's when I started listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore. I was like, because I had the time. I would just sit there and listen
See,
to
and that's the
podcasts.
thing. Like I listen to music, I listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
I listen to interviews with musicians. I deep
Yeah.
dove on a lot of stuff, self-help. It was great.
Nice.
But then it got to a point where like, you know, there's always things to explore, but I just wasn't finding any joy from it. Fulfillment. Yeah. And so then I was like, all right, we got to change it up. I need more money.
Exact same thing happened to me. I was like, I need to do something else, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I wanted more money too, obviously, so I can afford other things to do outside of work as well.
Because see, if I made a lot more money doing that job, I would have stayed there. You know what I mean?
for sure.
But it's just like, the money's not balancing it out.
Yeah. And then you have to move up that ladder. Like, you know, you have to like become a lead or then become like a supervisor. And
It's just a whole different. You're just waiting for people to die.
But you just get more, but you get more responsibilities. It's like, it's not, you lose the simplicity of the job at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Because then you kind of start getting caught up in it. It's like, it's all the interpersonal politics and BS.
Dude, and I refuse to participate in that crap. Like, we already do it enough as it is. Like, I do it as little as possible, man. I just like try to be all like bureaucratic about stupid stuff. And I'm just like,
interplace politics sucks, man.
Yeah, it's rough, man. And the culture, I hate that crap so much. Like when they got us in those big meetings in the conference room, and they're just like, "We're a family. We're on a boat together," using a stupid ass sailing metaphor. Or
Oh, that's right.
Kayak.
The
metaphor.
oars, yeah.
God, that drove me crazy, dude. And like,
That sounds awesome.
It's hilarious because there's actually critiques of like that culture out there where they just make fun of it. It's like, oh, this company, you know, it's so great or whatever, multi-billion-dollar company, international, but that claims like all family and unity and culture, and it's like the culture, and it's like all these bathroom stalls that are next to each other, like monotonous, like cubicles, you know, just like
there
mundane environment.
I was gonna be real about it. Like, hello, hey, all we ask is you show up generally on time. You're not batshit crazy, and you want money. We have money.
Yeah.
Is this enough money for you?
Yeah.
No.
Because you like money.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not enough money for us.
Well, we have pizza parties.
Cupcakes
Cupcakes
for
and pizza.
everyone. You get
Like Oprah of cupcakes.
birthdays, September
You get a cupcake,
birthdays.
you get a
We
cupcake.
have a list of names here, and these cupcakes are for them and everyone else in the lab. Here you go.
But you know, I do. You know, sometimes I do have to remember when you go to like, it's like going to public schools. You get all kinds of folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to remember there are some people who, and I'm not patronizing, but some people, you know, have like less things to look forward to.
Yeah.
And so those little gestures sometimes might mean something to somebody.
matter a lot.
Maybe if it's just like on a one-off on a bad day, you know.
That's true.
As a whole, no. But for the, you know what I mean. But there always is a person out there who like does take something in that. You
Sometimes
know.
I wonder. I'm just like, why do these people get so caught up in work and like drama here at work, and they don't have anything else going on in their
Because
lives?
that is their
It's sad.
that's
Entertaining. It's their career. They're passionate about it.
It's where they socialize because
That's
they
their
have no
friends,
life
yeah.
outside of work. It's just
Yeah.
like, what? You need to do something. They just come home, Netflix, YouTube it, whatever, Hulu's,
Yeah.
the Disney's. Did you see the
it's-
new Star Wars?
It's the system, you know.
yeah,
it
yeah,
just
it
sucks.
is. It is.
But I mean, we're about almost 20 minutes over now, so
Cool.
Okay.
I think it's a good
went
time
by
to
like
call it.
zipping
Dude,
as that.
there's so much that we could.
This was so fun.
Cover, yeah.
I know. There's a lot. Those
Yeah.
good topics.
Thank you for having me. Tibetan Skyburial's like the 5th edit.
Another one. All right, here we go.
Kickbutt Coffee, September 29th.
With
Dead and bloated,
gonna be
loaded,
afterwards,
bloated.
yeah.
afterwards. November.
There's a stream of it though.
There's a
Yeah.
stream.
They film it. They film everything
There's a
at
stream of it,
Kickbutt.
and
That's
then
awesome.
Yeah.
November what?
November 2nd, new single, Bad Omens.
New single coming out.
More info announcing the announcement soon.
from
And if you do ever get to go see them live, really great show.
Tibetan
Gotta watch it.
Skyburial.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram, Tibetan Skyburial, Texas. Facebook, Tibetan Skyburial. If you Google it, you may get some graphic images. Do it at your own risk. Also get an education.
Yeah. We will add the links in the caption, of course. If you have any questions for Rick,
Yeah. Reach out.
Yeah.
DM us.
DMs.
I mean, you can even reach him on his personal page or his band page and slide into those DMs. You know, just keep.
Don't
it.
do that.
Hi,
I
ask
have a
questions.
wonderful, lovely girlfriend named Ashley. Sweetheart.
I didn't mean it like that.
Don't be sliding in my
I was just saying,
DMs.
but that's funny because that did cross my mind. I was like, but just be careful what you say because he is taken. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, yeah.
yeah,
So
don't be rude. Oh well, I'd leave that in the comments.
You can be
If
great. I think it'll be
If
funny.
you got some shit talking to do, give us a comment, like, comment, subscribe. You know, let us know how you're thinking.
Y'all thirsty out there. Stay thirsty.
Thank you.
My friends.
Yeah. You gotta pee so bad.
It's fucking hard out